G'day investors and welcome to another episode of Stocks to Watch. My name's John Franklin, an experienced exploration geo and your host. Today we're taking a look at American Tungsten Corp, which is a Canadian listed company focused on revitalizing domestic tungsten production in the US through its flagship IMA Mine project in Idaho. Today I'm joined by the CEO of American Tungsten, Ali Haji. Ali, welcome back to the show, mate.
Good to be here, John.
Yeah, it's good to be talking to you again. So last time we discussed a bit more about how you were getting underground, you were taking some samples, preparing for drilling and all of that. Do you just want to give investors or people who are new to the story high-level overview of what's going on with your project?
Absolutely. John, when we spoke last, we were discussing getting safe passage into the adits that exist on the IMA Mine, a mine that has about 15 miles of inner workings underground. We've since rehabilitated the D level up to 1,000 feet, the zero level up to 150 feet. We have portal entryways that are essentially timber, ensuring that our staff are kept safe as they go in and out of the adits. We've removed all the old rails. We've started crosscuts for our exploration program. We plan on doing 15,000 feet before Christmas, and results of which will be provided to market as produced. The intent of completing that drilling program is twofold. One, to validate the historical findings and the resource from the prior operators. And two, to look to grow that resource so that we have a longer life of mine. So we're well on track. We have a significantly larger treasury than perhaps when you and I spoke last time. And we are accelerating all the work necessary to ensure that we are one of the first, if not the first, producer of tungsten in North America since 2015.
Very exciting. Yeah. So, I mean, you made a very good point there, which leads into the next question about financing. Obviously, these drill drives or drifts or crosscuts, as you call them, don't pay for themselves. But you've just secured a massive deal with with a letter of interest, basically, from the US Export-Import Bank or EXIM for up to $25.5 million. Could you elaborate on EXIM's role, the terms of the loan, and why the IMA Mine was able to get offered this?
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
Of course. First off, we did a $7 million placement in July. We then did an $18 million placement about 2 weeks ago. So our current treasury position is about 22.5 million Canadian. EXIM is a bank that ultimately funds, from a debt perspective, interests of the United States. Primarily, this was done globally. So consider it, a counter to the One Belt, One Road initiative that China is currently pursuing by swallowing up resources around the world. EXIM had a very similar role where they would go out, show the interest and the influence of the United States, and ultimately look to obtain resources and infrastructure to allow the United States to grow. Since the new administration has come to power, the Made in America program, which ultimately ensures that all critical resources and manufacturing capacity and capability is brought back to the United States, EXIM is now focused on deploying capital in the United States. They've done so with Perpetua Resources to the tune of $2 billion. They've done so with Loxley Resources, an Aussie company, to the tune of $191 million. With us, they've given us a letter of 25.5 million US. Now, you might be thinking, Perpetua gets 2 billion. Why did IMA only get 25.5? And they're in the same state, same jurisdiction. Well, the answer to that is our CapEx requirement to bring IMA back to production is vastly smaller than the majority of the mines around the world. So we asked for about significantly less than 25.5. We received 25.5, and we're very proud to say that we have received that. Our equipment list on the mill that we're looking to put in place at IMA is about $18 million. If you include configuration, ramp up, perhaps another $5 or $6 million, bringing you to about 25.5 or $24.5 million. That $25.5 million allows us to buy all our equipment for our mill to come online, as well as all of the ramp up and calibration costs associated with it. The way that the loan program works is you've got to satisfy a number of conditions before that capital is released. Now, the reason I brought up that $2 billion Perpetua letter of interest is their laundry list of deliverables to EXIM in order to release that funding, you can imagine, is significantly larger than ours. What is on our laundry list is very much what we've already told the market that we will deliver upon, which is a PEA in Q1 next year. Any offtake agreements that we have in place, be them binding or non-binding. So with GTP, as our viewers or followers are aware, we have a letter of interest that is non-binding in nature, and that is our offtake partner. Our internal PEA scoping study has already been completed, but the updated PEA scoping study will be provided to market in Q1 once our drilling has concluded by Christmas this year. So our list of requirements for EXIM is vastly minimal relative to a number of our peers. We have, I would say, 80% of what has been asked of us already prepared. Once we have concluded the drilling program and we complete our PEA study, we will have satisfied 100% of the requirements and thus have access to that 25.5 million US here in short order.
Okay, well, my next question was going to say, what is this contingent on, and how confident are you in actually this letter of intent being converted to a more definitive agreement? But it sounds like you answered it pretty much there. Like you're very confident that this will come through.
Absolutely. I think the requirements for us are, as I said, things that we're already working on, not something that has been added on as an extra layer of scrutiny or investigation. We've already started the various processes, including offtake, to ensure that we are able to produce with or without EXIM. So having EXIM, of course, is a great way to bring low interest government grants into the or government debt into the program. It's not an equity position. It's purely a debt offering 15-year payment terms, very favorable payment terms and low interest rates. So it is one of many opportunities that we believe as a company we will have to bring IMA to production.
Yeah, so two follow-up questions there is, when would that money be able to hit your bank account? And two, like what are the differences between those bank loan interest rates between if you were going a traditional debt funding versus this government-backed version?
Yeah, so it would likely hit our account shortly after the due diligence process is complete. I can't speak to what that timeline is. One reason is, of course, the government shutdown that has posed some delays with respect to the government releasing capital. The other being they may have a backlog. So I would suspect that anywhere within 2 to 3 months of us providing all the information necessary to EXIM, we will have access to that funding, which is well aligned with our intent to start pouring concrete in the summer next year.
And as a follow-up question, why would this be in more favorable terms than a traditional bank loan?
Well, if you look at interest rates around the world today, they're already quite high. I think the developing, or rather the developed world, is struggling with high interest rates on commercial mortgages, residential and retail mortgages, as a result of the high interest rates that we've had, thanks to a number of different central bank policies that have led us here. So if you were to go and obtain funding from a private lender or one of the private equity shops that exist without naming names, you're paying about 14%, maybe 16%, depending on jurisdiction. The US is a favorable jurisdiction, and so you can expect to see anywhere between 10 and 12%. With EXIM, you're paying what the bank federal rate is. So you're paying base rate across your debt package, which is significantly lower than, say, a 10 and 12%. And this is why the EXIM package is a tad more favorable, or significantly more favorable, perhaps, than going the traditional debt route.
Fantastic. Yeah. So if we talk cash runway now, post this deal, you mentioned a bit about it was going to be around 18 or 19 million of it was going to go into capital funding. How much of a runway will you have post those capital developments?
So with 22.5 in the bank today, we still have significant runway to complete all of our rehabilitation or drilling, our internal PEA, put deposits on our equipment, advance or accelerate, I should say, all the technical studies necessary for us to understand metallurgy and recoveries. With that 25.5 coming into the coffer, we would be fully funded to production. And production numbers are at a base case, putting out processing 500 tons per day at 380 tungsten, we'd be spinning out about 45 million US in cash per annum. So, it's a small CapEx number, and 380 tungsten is significantly lower than the 675 that tungsten sits at today. So you can imagine those margins will increase significantly. But if we were to take the EXIM loan, we would be fully funded to production.
That's good news. That's good news for investors. And now if we just take a step over to more of like a macroeconomic view of tungsten, because it's not... maybe it's not as well understood as gold or copper and that. There's no other domestic supply of tungsten in the US at all. Have you got any competitors that you think are going to beat you to the starting line, or is American Tungsten going to be first?
Selfishly, I would say I do not expect anybody to beat us to the production horizon in the public domain. Now, there may be private companies that we're unaware of that are doing their own thing and perhaps pursuing production, but it's not publicly available information. But insofar as talking about publicly listed companies, we believe quite strongly that we will be the first to come online for production. There has been no production in North America since 2015, when China flooded the market with cheap tungsten. And tungsten's critical, being assigned a critical metal by the government agencies since 1979, very much used in the defense complex, in nuclear power, as well as in now this AI boom with the microchips and data centers that we're building around the developed world. It is something that has a depleted stockpile within the various government agencies. Scrap metal prices are growing. The price of tungsten oxide is growing. It is a very, very tight supply, and we've learned this directly from the groups that we're looking to get a binding offtake agreement from.
All right, so it's very versatile metal. I mean, it's military demand. It's got nuclear demand. It's also got AI sensors. So that ticks three major demand boxes in my books. To wrap it up, Ali, do you just want to give investors or potential investors kind of punchline, why should people invest in American Tungsten now?
Absolutely. Reason number one, very strong treasury positions. We're not looking to raise any more capital in the near term. We have access to the capital necessary for us to come to production through EXIM. We've got a team of mine builders across our board and management team. We're in Idaho, which is a fantastic jurisdiction, and our capex is significantly lower than any of our peers to bring production online and be the first producer of tungsten in North America.
Very exciting, Ali. Well, thanks a lot for the update. And also, where can we invest? What exchanges are you on?
We're on the CSE under ticker TUNG. We're in the US under OTCQB under ticker TUNGF. We're also in Frankfurt under ticker RK90. For our US-based listeners, I will tell you, and our international listeners as well, we have every intent to pursue a US uplisting in Q1 next year, be it the NYSE Amex or the NASDAQ. So stay tuned for that.
Okay, thanks a lot for your time today, Ali, and we look forward to hearing updates soon.
My pleasure, John. Thank you.